Hey guys, Satoshi here, and today we're discussing Cobra Kai. So many of you are like, what the heck's going on? We're talking about how fans are furious after Aisha has been fired from Cobra Kai. So a lot of fans now, this is something that I actually announced maybe a year ago. So I put up the original video. Let's see here. It's September 18th, 2019. So I actually talked about this 1 year ago, which is absolutely insane, over a year ago at this point. And I revealed that Aisha would not be coming back for season three. And a lot of people did not believe me at the time. A lot of people thought, wait a minute, this can't be for real. You know, this is not happening. How can this, how can this occur? And it's funny because this video is getting more views than ever now, as people after all of these after a year are finally realizing, yeah, Aisha isn't coming back. There's a lot of people who are in denial. It's pretty rough right now. I actually created a poll recently to basically see how people were responding to the news that Aisha would not be coming back for season three. And the reviews are pretty significant. So here it is. Here's the poll that I created. And I can see that my face banner is blocking it, so I just took it off. So it says, so Aisha will not be in season three of Cobra Kai. How do you feel about the news? Sad, happy, don't care? Vote below in our poll, and also check out our video discussing her departure here. So there were about 2.9 thousand views so far. I just took a screenshot of this a moment ago, took a capture of it. So this is pretty up to date. And this is what we have. So about 65% say that they're going to miss her. About 9% say they're not going to miss her. About 24% say that they honestly don't care either way. And about 3% just want to be noticed. I find it interesting that when you give people options, it's amazing the options that they'll choose. So some people just literally voted in this poll just for the sake of being noticed. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But what this reflects is that most people are absolutely upset that Aisha won't be there. Only around 10% of people, less than 10% of people don't say that they won't miss her. 24% basically say they don't care either way. So that's not saying they miss her or that they don't. They just really don't care. So I guess you can kind of put that under the don't miss her category. But what's most interesting is 65% of people absolutely are going to miss her from the series. And that's not where it ends. If anything, it actually goes even further than that. You see, a lot of people are also saying that, there are a bunch of comments on my videos right now. And on my video where I talk about the fact that she's been fired from season three. And it's so interesting because we can look at those comments, and I'll try to get those on the screen for you guys so you can have a look at that. And let's go ahead and put that in there. All right. So I'll take this off the screen, and I'll take the poll off the screen, and you should be able to see my screen right now. And this is for the Cobra Kai Aisha fired from series, won't be in season three, confirmed the video. This one actually has over 400,000 views right now. And what's most interesting about this is that if we actually look at it, we can look at the comments, and there's some interesting comments here. So Justin Matthews says, I will miss her in the next season. May God watch over her and she get better. Big Smoke says, she wasn't fired. The writers just didn't have a role for her for Aisha's character in season three. That's not the actress's fault. You're absolutely right. She wanted to be in season three, and they just basically said they didn't have a place for her. But from what I'm hearing, from what I've heard, like when this first happened, there were a lot of people who brought up Tori Peyton List and pointed out that Tori was maybe not even originally supposed to be in Cobra Kai, or I don't know if she was considered until at like season two. And she very well may be a big reason why Aisha's not in the next season. For one, it looks like they're trying to establish kind of like a rivalry thing. So, for example, Hawk versus Dimitri, Miguel versus Robbie, Sam versus Tori, just like we have Johnny versus Daniel. And I think that as a result of that, they basically felt that Aisha was not a needed character. And if anything, she complicated that dynamic more. And that very well may have been the reason why she left the series, why they decided to not include her. I personally am like completely disheartened by it because I feel like she was a very substantial character. I feel like her role in the series gave kind of like the average fan, the average person, a kind of like a look into the world of Cobra Kai. For example, she was a woman. She's a person who struggled with her weight issues. She was a person who had dealt with bullying. She was a person who had dealt with so much, and she was a character that a lot of us could see ourselves in. For example, she wasn't the most popular person. She wasn't getting tons of dates. She didn't have lots of friends. She didn't have guys or girls wanting to hang out with her. Her closest friend, Samantha LaRusso, evidently, who was her close friend at one point, from what we understood, basically stabbed her in the back, to go hang out with her new friend, rich friends who really were pretty awful, except for Moon. Moon really was accountable and said, listen, you need to apologize to Aisha. But, Aisha basically shows us more so than anyone else how you can change and be realistic. Like, Hawk kind of like jumped off the deep end with the whole thing, but I feel like, yeah, she gave Yasmin a wedgie, and that was like some mean girl stuff. But at the same time, she stood up for herself, and she kind of showed us like it doesn't matter if you're overweight, it doesn't matter if you feel weak, it doesn't matter if your friends turn on you. You can actually come back from it. You can recover, you can rebuild, you can find something new. And also what Aisha represents for the dojo, because before Aisha, I don't think women were not allowed to join Cobra Kai, and she opened that door. She opened the door for Tori and any other female characters that come to the dojo afterwards. I honestly hope that there are more female characters in season 3 that join Cobra Kai, because I definitely like the diversity. I'm not saying that we have to have it, like half and half. No. I honestly no. I mean, if it happened naturally, that'd be cool, but it doesn't matter. More so, I feel like Aisha, she opened the door for the odd man out, like not just for women, but just for everyone in general. Like, she was like the first person to step up and say, you know what, I want to join. And like, we're like, what the heck is Aisha gonna do? And she literally entered, and she wasn't the strongest fighter, but she could hold her own. And it's those qualities that really make her stand out. And I'm definitely disheartened that she's not in it. Let me read some of your comments. Tommy says, I swear she left due to health problems. So, I mean, here's the thing. She was definitely, as we can see, that she was definitely dealing with health issues, but she was getting better. And as of 2020, she's actually, or at least late 2019 and supposedly 2020, she's looking a lot better. I've been meaning to make a follow-up video, but I've been waiting on it to make this video basically talking about why she very well may be returning to season 4. But I'll talk about that in another video. But I think that she's gotten a lot better. And I think in terms of health, I really hope, but from what I've seen, she's looking better. D-Lock says, they fired her. I'm so upset. And I just like censored that a little. And it's interesting, like, it's so crazy. You're like, a lot of you guys are going off in the comments, like, you're just absolutely furious. And this kind of reflects like how that the Cobra Kai fan base is very much a lot older. Like, we're basically that generation from the Karate Kid. Many of us are millennials. A lot of us are older millennials, or are even younger generation Gen Xers. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some boomers in here, or older Gen Xers in here. And it's interesting, like a lot of us are much, much older, like, than the general fan base. Like, because like some of us were born in the 1980s, or we were still children when the first Cobra Kai came out, when the first Karate Kid film came out. And that legacy has stuck with us. And, even throughout time, over the last 30 something years, because Cobra Kai the first Karate Kid film came out in like 1984, I think. I was born in 1983. So that's just to show you, I just had a birthday recently. I'm 37. So that just like shows you how insane it is. So Karate Kid, the franchise, is like 36 years old right now. 36 years old. I mean, it's been around for a long time. So a lot of people have been watching those movies for generations now, and they're like, wow, this is what our parents watched, this is what my mother watched, this is what my father watched. I remember like Ralph Macchio, I think he was like on the Tonight Show or one of these late night shows, and he was talking about, he was saying that, my grandmother has your picture on her wall. And someone told him that recently, and like at the time when he was on the show, and he was like, and the host was like, what? And he was like, and then he said, he goes, but it's been like 30 something years. So yeah, it's definitely insane. But let's read some more of the fan comments, because as you can see, guys, like I said, like I'm looking at the comments on the video, and I can't even read some of these because, like, some of you guys are just like really upset. Like Mathan says, I know that's crap, and and Alexander says they need her in the movie. Like, and hopefully we'll get a movie or at least an animated series. Mathan says all my friends watch this. Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's totally blown up on Netflix, and I really hope she comes back because it's such a huge opportunity. And she was like, I call Tori the queen of Cobra Kai, but let's be realistic. It was Aisha who opened the door for everyone to like come in. It was her. It's because of Aisha why we actually can have why we can have Tori and Cobra Kai right now, why we have this dynamic. And I know and I felt like she also brought like a heart to Cobra Kai that was missing. And I feel like with her gone, we lose so much of that. Let's read some more of these comments. So Christopher says her storyline should have been worked on and extended. She obviously had a good presence on the show. I hope she comes back in season 4. I also want to point out that Netflix is not responsible. I'm pretty certain Netflix is not responsible for Aisha being fired. I want you guys to think critically. The video that I put out came out in 2019 where I announced that Aisha would be fired after she basically announced it. I think it was on Instagram. You guys can check the original video. And at that time, Cobra Kai was still with YouTube, so season 3 was paid for, I think, by YouTube. And basically, their only deal that they had was that if they wanted to like shop the series around before it got canceled, before they canceled it because they didn't want to do a season 4. But it was actually on the end of YouTube when the series was canceled. And it could have been also budget constraints. It could have been YouTube wanting to cut back on the budget. There could be various reasons also why the writers decided to do it. It could be more than them not simply having a place for her, because at the end of the day, it always comes down to money, and they want to save as much money as possible. I'll actually put this right here for you guys. Tommy G, thanks Tommy. Tommy actually posted this right now in the chat, and I'm gonna read this to you. So on September 17, 2019, Nichole Brown announced via Instagram that she will not be returning as Aisha in season 3 of Cobra Kai, stating that they couldn't find a place to put me in the script. So that's exactly what I had heard. And I mean, guys, I don't know what else you guys are looking for. That's pretty much it. She announced it, and it is what it is. Maybe she'll be back for season 4. Nerd, I absolutely think it's highly possible she could be back for season 4. And like I said, I'm going to be putting out a video and making some big revelations about Aisha, because she's actually changed a lot recently. She looks a lot different, and I think that there's a good chance that she could be back if the fans make pressure. If the fans put on enough pressure put enough pressure and say, hey, we want her back, then honestly, I think that, a lot can happen. This is Hannah Vogler. I think. Hey, thanks for coming on, Hannah. But Hannah Vogler, and I think Nichole, your character Aisha, great fighter on Cobra Kai. We all agree that we all Aisha. Many of us do. Not everyone is a huge Aisha fan, but there's a lot of people who absolutely love. She's not like this special character, like some like special fighter. In life, many of us are the odd man out, regardless if we're men and women. It's that character, that person, regardless of gender, can represent us so much, and it just hurts. What she brings won't be back for that. Let me see here. Nerd Viper says, think about Okinawa. Absolutely. Mayton says they're not only bad guys for taking this character, but for keeping season 3 past due. So yeah, it comes down to money. It could have been released on YouTube much earlier, I think, but I don't know if it was YouTube that held it back or if it was the producers. I remember hearing that the producers asked YouTube for the opportunity to like at least shop it around, or YouTube basically said that there was a stipulation that they wanted to shop it around. And this might be something that YouTube does in the future, where they create series, but they don't actually they don't actually keep the seasons going. So, for example, Cobra Kai season 1 and season 2 are going to stay on YouTube. Season 3 will be exclusively on Netflix. But keep in mind that as a result of Cobra Kai season 1 and season 2 being on YouTube still, that means that YouTube can position that to help bring in more fans to the platform. It's absolutely insane, although I think a lot of people are still choosing to watch it on Netflix anyway. So that's one thing. So let's read some more of these comments. Dun dun dun. She needs to be there. Like Danny Torres says, she needs to be there. She's a character that is part of Cobra Kai. FGAC says the most she made per episode was about $5,000. She was far from rich or even uncomfortable by LA standards. I wish her the best. And the Mud says, the MDUB 27 says, it's sad because I feel she was loyal to Johnny along with Miguel. Absolutely. Larry Jensen says, I'm really sad to hear that Nichole Brown won't be in season 3. And look at like Larry, as you can see, like I said, many of us are so much older. Like we're older and we're like loving series. He says, Aisha was a friend to Sam and I was hoping they would try to reconcile this next season. I'm sure Mary Mauser was sad to hear of this too. I mean, and maybe, Mary is like really good friends, it seems, with Tyler Buchanan. I don't know how great her friendship with Aisha actually was, but I'm so hopeful that Aisha appears at least again in the season 4 or at least in the new series, because I like her as an actress. I really, really like her as an actress. Dun, dun, dun. And of course, there are people who just say they don't care, like JRV says he really didn't care for her character and never bought into her being a black belt in karate anyway. But as far as the actress, I wish her the best health-wise. I mean, and that's good. That's fair. I'll give him a like for that. At least he's being respectful and kind about it. Did I respond to him? Steve says no mercy. I mean, yeah. Zero says, I'm so sad, Aisha. I'm so sad. Aisha was awesome. She literally took a kick from Miguel and then recovered and beat him up. She absolutely is like before Hawk, she literally was tough. She was tough. She didn't give up. She stood up for herself. And you have to respect that in a person. ABCD minus says, that sucks. Aisha is a good character. Sammy says, as for the character of Aisha, I could take her or leave her, but I wish the actress well and may God help her through her health issues. Did I read that already? Okay. This BS Killer says, it's okay. She's rich. Her dad was a lineman in the NFL. I mean, that's referring more so to the character than the actress herself. Ronnie said, so I don't know who he's referring to. Ronnie, if he's referring to the actress or the character, Ronnie says she was a total bad, total bad A. No one bullied her after Cobra Kaiized. She needs to start her own group, go from school to school, taking out bullies. It's so funny because she was a girl who got bullied, and instead of being a victim, she rose up and became a victor. And you have to really respect that and love that about her character. Let me see here. Dar1776 says, I'm not sure what the actual story is, but that's too bad. Her character was important in season 1 and 2. It absolutely was. She absolutely was. And there are people trying to pretend like she wasn't. Znet says, pretty disappointed about this. Aisha and Sam still need closure. Hopefully she will come back in future seasons. Yeah, like I said, it's like they're basically trying to position Tori in the role of being Sam's rival. And as a result, they just don't want to have her in season 3. But again, it's hard. It's hard. Let me see here. Arkham says, I like Johnny more, but Chosen is a better fighter. So yeah, and let me see here. Dirt Viper though says Johnny for the win. Methan says, what if Johnny went with Daniel to Japan and had a show with him and Chosen? It'd be really interesting. And I think that many of us are anticipating that Johnny might go to Japan with Daniel, because Daniel finds him, he's totally broken, and he's like, okay, I'm going to take you. Come on, man. We can, who knows? But I'll admit, Daniel's just been kind of mean these days. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have. I mean, what do you guys actually think about this? What do you think about the idea? What do you think about the idea right now of what's happened, and the fact that so many fans are furious? How do you feel about Aisha not being in season 3? Are you sad? Are you upset? Are you furious? Could you just honestly not care less? What are your feelings? Because many of us are really upset. Many of us are hurting about it. Many of us liked her so much. And also, let me know what you guys think about these podcasts. Like, if you want me to do more Cobra Kai podcasts where I take the time to sit down and break it down for you, talk about the different fan polls. I really enjoy doing this. As you guys can see, like I've got my commentator's voice on. I've done YouTube for a number of years doing this type of content, but I haven't been doing live streams recently. I will say that I find so much joy talking about Cobra Kai, even though there are people in the community who can be a little toxic sometimes. I find overall the community to be something really nice. And since so many of us are passionate about Cobra Kai, I find that interesting. Like, for example, like, there are actually people who like Dimitri. And I think, like, I would think most people didn't like Dimitri. And I think most people don't like his character, but there are actually people who like his character. And maybe that's because somehow, somewhere along the line, they can relate to him. And it's fine. While I don't like the character, I respect the fact that there are people who do like the character, that can relate to the character, and I'm interested in hearing what they have to say. And I think that's one of the great things, is that Cobra Kai is all about perspective, and it's not about censoring anyone. It's about hearing the perspectives and ideas of others and being able to look through a critical lens and realize that no one is all good and no one is all bad. But when it comes to people who don't take accountability for their own actions, that's when we have issues. Anyway, guys, Nerd says Dimitri is very annoying. Yeah, like I said, he's not my cup of tea, but there are people who evidently like him. At least one person said they liked him, I think. And I actually did a poll regarding Dimitri, and maybe I'll discuss that in another video. But let me know if do you guys want me to do more of these videos? Like, do you want me to do more of these podcasts? I'm literally surprised how many people actually tuned in for this one. Like, it was just like a spur of the moment. And it seems like a lot of you guys were like, yeah, we want this. And you just jumped in. I think we're up to like 17 viewers at one point. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want me to do more podcasts like this, more live podcasts like this, where I talk about what's been happening with Cobra Kai and, break down on everything. Maybe I'll do like an evening podcast before, before bedtime. Like, yeah, I'll do an evening podcast. Like, right now, it's actually like for many of you in the US right now, it's like at earliest, it's like 5 in California, I think. I'm not even in the States at the moment. Anyway, guys, that's what I've got for you. Dimitri can cool with nerd stuff. Okay. I will catch you guys in the next one. Please get this video to 100 likes if you want me to continue putting out more Cobra Kai videos like this, if you want me to keep putting out more podcasts like this. Tommy G says, I'm in the UK. What's up, Tommy? That's awesome, man. In another video, I think I'll probably ask, where are all of you guys from? You can tell me where you're all from. Tommy says it's 1 a.m. in the UK. Oh my gosh. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. But I will say it's absolutely cool that you guys are still, even though it's still really late right now, it's 1 a.m. It's really awesome that you still tune in and you're listening. Let me know if you guys, Sato is gone. Let me know if you guys want me to keep doing more of these podcasts. Tell me in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next one. And just remember, Cobra Kai never dies. Peace.